What's up, people? Wolf God the Bounty Hunter here. I guess I'm gonna touch on George Floyd. You know, rest in peace, George. I wasn't gonna do this video, man, because I see a lot of people using his name and the whole movement for personal gain. You know, all these corporations, and you know, you see people out protesting just to get a fucking picture. You know, it's nasty how people are using his name and his movement for their personal gain. You know, so I didn't want to make a video talking about this, but a coworker of mine, somebody that I bounty hunt with, he called me the other day. Josh, what's up, bro? If you're watching this, he called me the other day, and he said he could have been a person who carries a badge, who has the power to arrest people. Make a long story less long, he said he could have been the officer who killed George Floyd. And if not for a conversation that him and I had. The conversation he referring to was, we was working the case and we was looking for a Skip, child support Skip, black guy. We tagged the location on him in the projects. We get there. Josh takes the front door. I take the back for any rabbits, people who try to run or whatnot. Josh made contact. I mean, I must be standing in the back for about 20 seconds. All I hear is, show me your fucking hands, show me your fucking hands. Josh tapped me on the radio. I immediately run to the front. When I get there, I see Josh with his gun drawn, and I see the defendant in the doorway. Josh is screaming at him. Josh is like screaming at him. And I can tell, you know, I can tell, you know, I've been working with Josh for some time, and I can tell Josh was ready to pull the trigger. I get there. When I heard Josh screaming, show me your fucking hands, show me your fucking hands, you know, out of habit, I pulled my weapon and I run to the front, you know, because I don't know what's going on. I just hear screaming. So when I get there and I see that the guy is in the doorway and Josh is, you know, a few feet back with his weapon drawn, I put my holster up, right? And Josh is screaming. So I walk up to the doorway. I tell the guy, I say, look, man, you got child support warrant. You know, you know you had this. You know you can go to court, man. We got to take care of this today. The guy instantly calmed down and stepped outside. And he, hey, can I smoke a cigarette? Can I make a few phone calls before y'all take me in? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. All that happened within 30 seconds. When I walk in front of Josh to go talk to the guy, Josh stopped screaming, and then he holstered his weapon. Now, after we take the guy in, and me and Josh is heading back, Josh asked me, he said, how did you know that guy didn't have a gun on the other side of that door? I said I didn't know if he had a gun on the other side of the door. But what I do know is that there's a stigma against black people that we are violent. Which is the reality of it is we're not. We want to be treated with respect and like human beings. So I told Josh, I said, you know, what you saw was a guy with his hand behind the door. And yes, there might have been a weapon back there. And what he saw was, he didn't know you was a bounty hunter. What he saw was a cop, police, some type of law enforcement, white guy with a gun drawn on me, you know. So immediately there's going to be some resistance on his end. And I told Josh, I said, look, you know, if more white cops or anybody white in a position to arrest people or a position of some type of power, if they understood, if they took the time out to understand black culture, then they would realize that we aren't naturally violent. And there's a stigma that we're violent people, but we're not. So I told Josh, I said, most of the time we just want to be treated with respect. So when I walk to the door and I say, hey man, you got child support one, we got to take care of that today. You know, he understood that I got a job to do. I'm not trying to make his life harder. I'm not trying to fucking kill him. He knew I got a job to do, and he knew that he got to take care of this someday. You know? And Josh told me, Josh, what's up, bro? If you're watching this, man, comment below, let me know. Josh told me, he said, you know, I never been around black people. He grew up in Ohio. He said he never been around black people, you know, besides of work. But everybody in his family is white. I mean, you know, he grew up in white neighborhoods. You know, he never really been around black people. So he don't. When I told Josh that we are naturally violent, he didn't know that. He didn't know that. You know, and I told him, like, yeah, we are the most, if not forgiving people out there, if not the number one. You know, all we want is to be respected and treated like fucking human beings. The officer that killed George, he had his knee on his neck for fucking 8 minutes. For what? Was he scared? Did he think, hey, if I get up, you know, this guy's going to give me some problems? Or who knows what the fuck was going on in his mind? But the moral of the story is, if that officer would have walked up and said, hey, man, this store called and said you was trying to use a fake $20 bill. You trying to use a fake $20 bill, man? What's up? Let me know. And the situation would have never led to him being on the ground with his fucking knee in his neck. Even if the investigation came out to where George had to be arrested. Look, man, you know you was using a fake $20 bill. What you thought was going to happen? You got, come on, man. Place him in handcuffs and place him in the car. I told Josh, I said, look, do you know why white mass shooters can shoot up and kill 10, 15, 20, 30 something people and still be placed in handcuffs? Is because they're not looked at as a fucking threat. To where, the officer in Minneapolis, he see George. Big George is a big guy. He's afraid. He thinks George is a fucking threat. So he has to show George who has the most power, who has the most control. And the guy wasn't a fucking threat. He wasn't no threat at all. And that's why I was telling Josh, I'm like, as a white man, as a white man carrying a badge and you're trying to arrest people and you're arresting black people, if you treat every black person with respect and treat them as a human and don't think don't go to immediate threat, then you'll be all right. And Josh appreciated, you know what I'm saying? And going forward, he never did that again. Now, I told Josh, yes. I said, now, when I walked up to the guy, my hand was still on my gun, but it wasn't drawn. It wasn't pointed at him. The guy could have had a gun behind the door. Could have, My safety was my number one priority. But at the same time, I know that 90, maybe 95% of black people ain't violent at all. We not violent people. I know that all I got to do is, hey, man, look, you did something. It's time to take care of it. I'm not here to make your life harder. I'm not here to put my hands on you. I'm not here to kill you. I'm not here to belittle you. I just have a job to do. And you got to be a man and take responsibility. And if you approach us like that, there wouldn't be no killing of a black man. So if you white and you watching this, I would say we're not a threat. We're not a threat. We don't want to hurt nobody. You know, black people is loving and the most forgiving. If you white and you watching this and you carry some type of badge, or if you have to arrest black people, de-escalation is not that hard with us. Josh could have pulled that trigger and shot my mans, and he had no guns on him whatsoever, no weapons, no nothing. He could have shot him, and then it would have been another white officer shot our black man. And it's no fault to Josh. It's just he just didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? Until I told him. So if you black and you watching this, man, and you work with white people, let them know. We're not a threat. You don't have to always be so fucking hands-on. You don't have to be so quick to eliminate the threat with us. We're not a threat. But then I understand, you know, some white people out there where they just simply hate niggas. They just simply hate us. And there's nothing we can do about that, you know. But I'm talking to the white cops who is not racist, you know, and who not racist, and they care about their safety. I get it. You want to make sure you go home to your family and kids. I get it. Josh just wanted to go home to his family, so he wanted to do everything to make sure that, you know, he in the projects. And the only time he been in the projects was to arrest somebody. So he didn't know. But rest in peace to George, man. That officer did. I think it came out the other 3 officers were arrested. Man, that's good news. The officer had his knee on his fucking neck for 8 minutes. That shit is crazy. You know, I definitely think he's gonna get convicted. All the other 3 officers are arrested. I believe they're gonna get convicted too. But I love every one of y'all. Thank y'all for watching, man. Rest in peace to George. Remember, if you black and you work around white people, just let them know, you know. We not a threat. Let them know that we not a threat. Let them know black people are loving. And we just want to be treated with respect and treated like a human, you know. So, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody, y'all be safe out there. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.